What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Mission Control. This is episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about the shooting of Jasmine Barnes in our local area. We're also going to be talking about what album of the year is for 2018. We're going to be talking about who got snubbed, all the juicy drama, and lastly, we're going to be talking about social media, pros and cons. So stay tuned.
Yeah. All right. So our first one is the Jasmine Barnes, right? That's her name?
Yes.
So in our local area, it was outside of a Walmart, right?
Right.
Or you want to explain the story a little bit?
Okay, so I guess really quick to try to make a long story short, there was a mother who had 4 kids, and early in the morning before 7 a.m. she woke up her kids and took them to a local Walmart, and then while they were there getting coffee, somebody pulled up and then shot both the mom in the arm and then a little girl who was about 8 years old named Jasmine in the back seat. She got shot in the head. And so,
Or was it more of like a drive-by, or they have information where he got out and shot him? Or?
No, it was more like a drive-by kind of situation. But so basically, one of the kids identified the shooter as a white male in a red pickup truck. Later, we found out that it was actually a African American guy driving I think it was like a Saturn, and basically. This has been like very controversial. A lot of people have been talking about it, so we're gonna talk about it on here. So you don't know a lot about the situation, right?
Yeah, I really haven't heard too much about it. I heard people over, like, friends of mine talking about it and stuff like that, but I really didn't dive too deep into the information that they gave us and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess like the reason this was so controversial is because a little girl was shot and died. But I think this brings up a bigger issue and a bigger topic of gun control in America, and how can we prevent things like this from happening in the future. So,
well, do they know what type of gun he used? Like if it was a pistol or like an assault rifle? Or
no, it was like a small
handgun. Right?
Yeah, like a handgun,
like a 9mm.
Yeah,
like that.
But what do you think is like the answer for gun control, and how can we stop things like this from happening in the future?
Well, I guess my personal take is we shouldn't have guns, or we should have guns, but to a certain extent. We don't need, 50 caliber assault rifles. We don't need 30 magazine, 30 round magazines and stuff like that. We should be able to, have something smaller than 9mm or like 22 long rifles or stuff like that. That's acceptable for me. But anything larger than that, and anything with the capacity to kill a lot of people with the wrong intentions, that's where in my heart we don't need guns, in my personal opinion. What's yours?
Right. And me and Adrian were having a conversation earlier, and then we kind of went back and forth talking about like what is the answer to like gun control and stuff. And I told him, like, I think the answer is to have, like, whenever you go and buy a gun, at least like commercially at like an academy or something like that. I think the answer is to A, make sure you have a good background check done, and then B, have a mental examination done, because there'd be a hella crazy people out here just shooting up schools and stuff.
And yeah, like, where I work at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have...
He works at Walmart, by the way.
Yeah, okay, I work at Walmart. They have the knives locked up, but all the ammunition isn't locked up.
Right.
So anybody could walk in, take a bunch of 12-gauge shotguns and unload, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have the arm to do it, but they do have the capacity to do it. They have a whole rack of shotgun shells. They have, like, everything that you could dream of, right?
Uh-huh.
But, the information, there's more guns than people in America. You know that?
Right.
I know people who have like hundreds, like I won't say hundreds of guns, but more like a handful of guns, right? Which I don't think is right. But in my personal gun control, you don't need an assault rifle. You don't need a 12-gauge shotgun. You don't need this and that. Maybe if you like hunt game and stuff like that, but that's my personal take. What about yours?
Honestly, and you brought up a good point to me earlier. Like, even if we take all the best preventative measures possible, like background checks and all that stuff, there's still going to be those people who manage to get their hands on large weapons.
Which I think is like the main reason why they have these shootings, because America's like leading school shootings right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if we are.
Yeah, like you hear that left and right on the stories, like nowadays. Like it's crazy where like people could just come in and like just go off and do unimaginable things, man.
Right. So honestly, I don't know what the permanent long-term answer is. I mean, we could try like setting up metal detectors and stuff in public places, but then that creates another issue because
3D printing. Have you heard about that?
No.
They have like 3D printed guns now that are made out of plastic.
See that it's just like one you cut off one head and then two more grow back. So
Yeah, it's just crazy, man.
yeah.
Like, so yeah, you could do metal detectors. Yeah, you could do background checks. Yeah, you could do this and that. But at the end of the day, there's still gonna be that one person who wants to do that and will find anything to do it.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
with 9/11, right after 9/11, they had a bunch of airport security. Like from before 2001 to like 2019 right now. Like the amount of security that we have is so crazy. But we should do the exact same thing with gun control. We don't need all that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal thing again. Like that's my 2 cents about it.
And like honestly, the only reason I'm not for completely getting rid of guns is because like I know there's situations where like they're needed. Like if somebody breaks into your house and they're trying to harm you and your family, I could see like where you would need a gun.
But you could always do less lethal. You know that, man.
You could do what?
Less lethal, which is like rubber bullets or a taser or. Yeah, like you know, your first thing is to like.
Okay, all right. Let me paint a picture for you. So, let's pretend like you're a little bit older, right?
Okay, I don't have any guns. I wish I don't have any guns.
Right.
I don't
Okay,
plan on
This,
having
this is
any.
a hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
So, Adrian, let's pretend you're a little bit older, right? You have a wife, kids, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You come home from work one day from Walmart. It's late at night.
Yeah.
You open the door and you see that somebody has a knife to your wife's head and your kid's head. What are you gonna do?
I mean, that person. Well, what I have on me. So you're saying, okay, if I have a gun on my right hand and then let's say I have a taser on my left hand, right?
Okay.
Which am I gonna pick?
The gun, duh.
Yeah, that's what you put me like in a position. But I mean, I understand what you're trying to say. A gun would be most.
There's certain situations where I can understand the need for a gun, but yeah, that's the only reason why I'm not.
It's like home security.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm not saying like let's completely get rid of guns, because I know that there's a time and a place for them.
Like, okay, so we live in Texas, right? Of course, there's like a bunch of game, and that's fine with me. Like, you know, if you had like a one shot, you know, type of capability where you only had one round in the magazine. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can go hunt game if you want. Like, you can go kill deer, you can go kill rabbits, you can go do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, you don't need an excessive amount of stuff. You just need one round. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like people killing animals and stuff like that, but people like doing it. I like doing other stuff. You know, you guys try to say? But guns are needed in America for home security, for security in itself, and open carry. Should we have open carry?
I think so.
So I could keep my gun on my thing, and you wouldn't even be scared.
No, I mean not unless I'm harming you in any kind of way.
All right, so that's
I think we should leave it off there. Let us know what you guys think. Give us your opinions. You want to move on to our second subject?
So yeah, our second subject is of course album of the year. We just finished 2018. Honestly, one of the greatest years of music that's coming out. We had KOD, Astroworld, Scorpion. We had The Weeknd drop some stuff.
Yeah.
Black Panther's amazing album.
Beyonce, Jay-Z dropped projects.
Oh yeah, the Carters.
Yeah, a lot of stuff came out in 2018. It was a year of music.
Yeah, honestly, a really good year of music. You know, the God came back, man. In my personal opinion, the God came back.
Wait, can you let our listeners know who you're talking about, just so like they can back me up when I call you crazy?
Young Metro.
No,
himself in the flesh. Young Metro 3 times.
All right, but let's get into this debate. So, well, I guess we could start off by, was it Grammy nominations that were announced?
Yeah, you want to go over them real quick?
Okay, so Grammy nominations, I could look it up on my phone right quick. But while I'm doing that, can you tell them who you think had album of the year?
Okay, I know a bunch of people are gonna be like, Adrian, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Why did you come to this? But I'm literally tied between two albums, and that's Not All Heroes Wear Capes by Metro Boomin and Astroworld by Travis Scott. Of course, Astroworld had all the accolades. It had 500K in the first week. It had Sicko Mode, which like went #1, and the album went #1 at the same exact time in November, I believe it was, somewhere around there, right? And then towards the end of the year, they had the same album went #1 in the song.
Right.
But then if you look towards Not All Heroes Wear Capes, I felt like that had a more Astroworld vibe to it, if you can try to say.
Right.
So I felt if you had the songs that were out of Not All Heroes Wear Capes and Astroworld, it would have felt like more Astroworld to me. You guys try to say? And then of course Young Metro, he puts art into his craft. You know, he brought in Gunna, Young Thug, Travis, Kodak, and all that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like those two are probably the best. And then an honorable mention for me is My Dear Michelani. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's by The Weeknd.
Melancholy. You butchered that.
Is Melancholy?
Yes, it's an emotion.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Melancholy is an emotion.
So it technically wasn't an album. It was an extended play, which had like 6 songs on there.
About 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7 songs on there. And that's my honorable mention for album of the year. What about you, man? Oh, you got the Grammy nominations?
Yeah, so I have the list pulled up on my phone right here. So Grammy nominations for Best Rap Album of the Year for 2018 include Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy, Mac Miller's Swimming, Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap, Daytona by Pusha T, and then finally Astroworld by Travis Scott.
So no KOD.
Okay, look, honestly, I think the fans or the listeners out there can agree with me. Content wise, we're not going off popularity, anything like that.
No
streaming
sales,
numbers,
no streaming numbers, no nothing.
Streaming numbers aside, popularity aside, we're talking about straight content, lyrics, message. I think KOD, J. Cole's KOD, was album of the year for 2018. Now, I think the reason why it didn't resonate with people now is because it came out so early in the year in 2018.
Oh yeah, it came out in like March, right?
It came out 420, the day of 420.
Oh yeah,
and that's I think part of the reason why it's not getting some of the recognition it probably deserves now is because it's been so long. People nowadays people listen to something and then forget about it 20 minutes later. So I think that's part of the reason, and then the other part of the reason is because I just think like young kids and stuff, they don't
vibe to it anymore.
Yeah, they don't vibe to it. Like people don't want lyrics no more. Like they don't want a message. They don't want good content. They just want something they could turn up to, and that's another thing.
Mumble or sicko mode.
Oh my god.
Wait, so your application towards it be coming out on 420, right? So we had Astroworld come out in August. We had Gunna and Lil Baby drop. We had almost everybody on the planet drop an album towards the end of the year, right? So you think if KOD came out in August or November, months like that, you think it would have been better?
Okay, because I'm looking at this list, and then pretty much all of these either came out during the summer or afterwards, and KOD came out 420.
Or yeah, even Quality Control, they dropped a bunch, dude. Yes. And then the Cardi B, she blew up this year, dude. Like it was her Cardi B's year.
Yeah, so honestly, so from this list we have Cardi B, Mac Miller, Nipsey Hussle, Pusha T, and then Travis.
I've never heard of Nipsey Hussle.
I've heard of Nipsey Hussle. I could play you one of his songs later. He's a West Coast rapper. I don't really know too much else I could say about him. He works a lot with Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar. But out of that list, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna say. But who do you think had album of the year?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I never heard Daytona. I never heard Victory Lap. I never heard Swimming. And I've never heard Invasion of Privacy.
Dang.
So that only leaves... Okay, yeah. So my thing is like bias. Yeah. My thing is 100% bias. But Astro by Travis Scott. Dude.
Okay. As somebody who actually has like an open taste in music.
And I have no open taste in music. I love like Gunna, Lil Baby, Travis, Drake, The Weeknd. Like people like mainstream people, I guess.
Okay. So let me speak for the people here when I say...
Yeah, take over, Chief.
I listen to... Okay, let me get this right off the bat. I haven't listened to all of these albums in their entirety, except for maybe Astroworld and Daytona, but I heard most of Invasion of Privacy. Haven't heard Swimming. I'm sorry for all the Mac Miller fans out there. I heard maybe 2 songs off of Victory Lap. I listened to all of Daytona. I listened to all of Astroworld.
Well, was Daytona the one where he dissed Drake?
Yeah.
Did he add that song onto there?
Yeah. So, out of this list, I'm gonna say, based off of hits,
and I took Jason to Astroworld Festival.
Listen. But based off this list and hits, going based off of hits, I think Cardi B had album of the year based off of this list and based off her numbers and her popularity.
Yeah, because it's her year. That's what I'm telling you.
Right, and then honestly, I heard her Invasion of Privacy album. There's some bangers on there, and there's songs that like we're still listening to now, like the one with Bad Bunny. The one with I think her name is it Kaylani or Karuchi? There's
the one that cheated on Kyrie. Wait,
no. That was Kaylani. This is Karuchi's on the album. She has a song on there with Migos. Like there's like at least 6 or 7 good songs. Which like if you drop an album and you have like 15 songs on the album and 7 of them are good, that's a pretty decent album. That's a pretty good album.
Stargazing, Carousel, Sicko Mode, R.I.P. Screw. Stop Trying to Be God. Skeletons, wake up.
But you're a Travis Scott stan, so I think.
Yeah, okay, I'm a stan. My thing has
Yeah.
nothing to do with this.
Okay, but like for the casual listener, I don't think the casual listener is gonna listen to all those songs. You know what I mean?
Astro
So-
wasn't his greatest right now. Honestly, I won't be honest with you. Travis Scott or Astro wasn't even that good.
So that's what I'm saying. Like because of radio hits and radio popularity, I think Cardi B might win it. But I'm not gonna lie, Astro World was really good. As far as like radio play, I think Sicko Mode was obviously number one. Other than that, maybe.
What are
Trying to
your
Be
top
God.
four?
What do you mean?
Like, what are your top 4 albums of the year? Or like two
My
honorable
list
mentions?
or off of this?
No, like just yours. So KOD would be number 1, right?
Right.
And then your second, third, and then your honorable mention.
I'd have to think about that a little bit more.
Let me give you a few seconds. So I already said mine. So
No,
mine's
I would have to
Astro.
like sit down and think about this. Like think about it.
What? So obviously, Culture 2 and Scorpion were not that good, right? I felt like they were full of
I think they're
fillers
okay.
and.
I think they're okay. There was a lot of songs that could have been left out.
Ew, wait, who are you throwing shade to? Migos or Drake?
I'm talking about both, honestly.
Because Drake had 1 billion streams in 1 week.
Well, it's Drake and he's worldwide.
Yeah, like he basically doubled KOD and Astro.
Listen, I've for those of you who don't know, I'm Colombian. My family's from Colombia. I've been to Colombia before. I've seen kids who can't speak a word of English open up a Drake album and listen to the whole thing. So I think Drake just has that appeal worldwide that he's gonna get those streaming numbers. So yeah.
And I heard this post on Instagram, which kind of has something to do with it, but kind of doesn't. But it's basically Drake's fillers are better than most songs out there. You gonna try to say?
Right.
Because he had Nice for What, he had I'm Upset, God's Plan, which like blew up incredibly, and then Into My Feels, right? Or In My Feelings.
In My Feelings.
Which those 4, let alone, they blew up the entire album. So My Ratchet Happy Birthday, Sandra's Rose, songs like that, they carry the album. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I felt like it had fillers and just like random songs on there that compared to Views, compared to If You're Reading This Is Too Late, like Scorpion was not that good in my personal opinion, and it shouldn't be up there with top 10.
But I definitely think I don't have like a full top 5 or top 10 list. But obviously, I think KOD should be up there. I do think Daytona should be up there because if you haven't heard Daytona, right?
I've probably heard like 2 or 3 songs.
So basically, the whole thing was produced by Kanye West. Amazing album. It's 7 tracks.
Wait, so speaking of Kanye West, you don't put Ye up there, right?
Huh?
Do you put Ye in your top 5?
You mean Ye?
Or yeah. Ye? And Kids See Ghost.
No.
Because Kids See Ghost was actually good.
No. Okay. The only reason I say Daytona by Pusha T is because I feel like it had a good mix of both. It was really good musically. It sounded good, the beats and stuff. And,
So the production quality.
Yeah, so production quality. And then I think Pusha T got on there and, he spit some real stuff. And on top of that, the Drake diss, the whole beef kind of put him over the top and put him on the map, kind of.
Yeah, put him on the map. Because, you really didn't hear too much about, like, him on the news. Because, honestly, Tekashi was, like, the star of Instagram right now before he went to jail.
Right. So I think Daytona should be up there. You really need to listen to it. It's only 7 tracks. It's worth it.
That's the one with, it has the infamous picture of, where Kanye paid, like, $50,000 or something like that to have,
Yep, that
what
one.
was her name?
Whitney Houston's bathroom, I think.
Yeah.
So
So what's our next topic of discussion for Mission Control?
oh yeah, so that pretty much wraps up that topic. Segue into the next one. We're gonna be talking about social media pros and cons. So basically, what's good about it, what's bad about it, how can it be used to make people successful? Yeah.
So what's your personal take about it? So you only have one social media, or you have a Twitter, you have a Snapchat, and you have what else? Instagram
and YouTube, I guess that counts.
And Tinder, right? But we're not gonna talk about that.
Don't put me on blast. I have a significant other. No, I don't have a Tinder. But yeah.
So out of those, which one's your favorite and why? Or which one do you use the most and why? Because I feel like I use Snapchat for more like one-on-one conversations.
Right. So back in the day, I used to be really into Facebook. I think everybody was, and then I dropped that. Then I was really into Instagram. Dropped that. Then I was really into Snapchat. I kind of fell off on Snapchat. Now I'm really into Twitter because Twitter is like hella funny and just like very raw and unfiltered. But
so what are your pros and cons? Because I feel like my pros and cons are like, you can grab an audience more than you can in person. You get what I'm trying to say?
right.
So like, okay, I don't want to call anybody out, but like, all those Instagram models with like millions of followers or stuff like that, like they went from nothing to, millions of people watching their stuff on the daily. They have ads now. Like
Yeah.
I feel like social media is like an open door to everything now. You know what I'm trying to say?
I think there's two sides to social media. There's the business side, and then there's the human side. The business side, I think social media, it's an opportunity to get your name out there, get your face out there, get your product out there.
Which is what we're trying to do, right?
Right, and also I think from a business perspective, it's very easy to blow up. Just like I'm trying to think of a good example.
Like Daquan. That's a perfect example.
Yeah, like pages like Daquan, Shade Room, things like that. It's very very easy to.
Yeah, World Star. That'd be another.
If you have something that people like to see, it's easy to blow up. Now, on the flip side of that, there's like the human side of social media, and I think honestly, it could be like very very devastating to some people because you have bullying, you have just different things like commenters saying like mean stuff. So I think it could definitely get to people. My experience on YouTube is definitely got to me. So
yeah, stay more in the mic, bro. You trying to
right? Okay.
My bad. So you're basically saying pros is you can make a shit ton of money off of it because you have so many people on it, right?
Yeah.
Because how many hours out of the day are you on social media?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
You say like maybe 2 or 3 max?
Max, yeah.
Well, when you're not working on YouTube videos, because I don't feel YouTube is social media unless you're posting.
Well, it is because you're sharing videos,
Yeah, but like when you're editing videos and creating them, I don't feel like that's social media. But when you actually put it out there and you put your product out there, I feel like that's when I'm.
Yeah. Well, I technically YouTube social media, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying, you can make a lot of money. You could reach so many people than you can like in the real world, right?
Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say is you can make a lot of money, but that money comes at a cost.
Yeah, because of course, there's always bullying. There's always people wanting to bring you down because they don't show their face. That's another. You don't show your face on social media unless you want to. Mm-hmm. So like your personal account or like even you on Babyboy, like let's say you like blow up one time, but someone doesn't like your video, they're gonna show you because they don't know who you are or you don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And just as somebody who like is trying to make it with social media, I think I speak for both of us. Like, there's some mean ass people out there. Like, I've gotten some like, not like hate, but I've got some like, your video is trash. It's not funny.
Not even like constructive criticism or anything.
Oh
like that?
no. Well, I've gotten that before, but like it's mostly been positive. But I'm talking about I've gotten like your shit is trash. Like, you're not funny. You stop making videos.
You really have?
Yeah.
On your YouTube?
In my DMs, no, not on my comment section.
Oh wow, dude! So you can see who they are.
Yeah, of course. This is like people who watch my video then find my social media. So, and then this has gotten to me in the past too because like I've gotten stressed out. I've had to log out of my social medias and stuff like that. So it could definitely get to a person. Yeah. What's your take on it?
I mean, thankfully, and I guess I'm not as big as you yet because personally I have like 14 subscribers and you have like what 114?
About 110.
So and our view count is like 100, like flip side, right?
Right.
But I haven't got any like I stream a lot on Twitch, which I should go watch me play some games sometime. And I've always had like friends just watch me because like why would you want to watch somebody stream when you're like bullying them at the same time?
Yeah, I mean.
Like
that's another thing too. I think it's different when you have people like that are close to you watching your stuff, but when you have complete strangers who don't know you personally and are just watching you based off like who you are on the internet, it's kind of like there's a disconnect there. You know what I mean?
So, do you feel like if you were to make famous one day, like what's your take on being famous? Like, what's your standard of being famous? Like, a couple of 100,000 or?
Oh, like what do I think is a standard for being famous?
Yeah, because there's a point where you're famous, right? But then people will hate you.
There's levels to fame. There's definitely there's local famous. There's there's levels to it. Like globally famous, like Drake is. Like there's levels to this.
Yeah, he's definitely he's the one right now, right?
Right.
But do you see how much hate he gets? Like if he were to
oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like he had that video with the 17-year-old right a few years back.
Yeah.
Any little thing that you do, or TMZ or anything would just destroy you, man. Like, do you feel like you could step up to that fame and handle all that?
Well, let me just elaborate. I think the second you get even a little bit of fame, so like me, I'm at like 110 on YouTube.
Yeah, let's say you make it theoretically to 100K, which you are gonna one day, I promise you.
Yeah. So I think like whether it be a little bit of fame or a lot of fame, people put you under a microscope. So now I'm starting to feel that a little bit with like YouTube and like other social media platforms. More followers you get, the more people,
the more chance of you.
well, yeah, but I think people, the more followers you get, people begin to have like an expectation of you, or like the person they want to see, and like what they want to hear from you and see from you. And the minute you do something different or you do something that people don't like, they have something to fucking say about it. And so that's one thing that always well, not always, but it stressed me out from time to time, is people who feel like they know me better than I know myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is a crazy thing in my thing, man. Like, you know, you just want to post stuff that you want and that you like and that you want to do, but there's somebody on the other side of the world that's like, hey, you know, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And like, as far as like the whole YouTube thing, like nothing gets on my nerves more than like, I'm brainstorming, I come up with a creative idea, I post it. So let's say I post a challenge, right?
Like, let's say, you something you worked hard on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
someone brings it down. That's what you're trying to say?
Well, that, and I was also going to say, like, let's say I post a challenge, right? And then it blows up. And then I get a comment that says, or a DM that says, hey, I really like that video. You should do more challenges. Keep doing challenges. We need more challenges. And then,
so this
and then no, let me finish. And then next week, I post a public interview. And then that same person comes and DMs me. You know what? I take back what I said last week. You need to do more public interviews. Keep giving us public interviews. You're better when you do public interviews. You need to stop doing challenges. And the next week I come and I do a skit. You need to do more skits. You're better when you do skits. Like, that shit is so annoying to me. And honestly, I'm just like, hey, like, let me do my thing. Let me be a creator. But
yeah, 'cause at the end of the day, you are you. You don't want. You can't manipulate yourself.
Right.
So I feel like you've been through this because like, you kind of yelling at me right now, but.
Oh yeah, I'm very passionate about this, and I feel like Drake probably has the same thing too, because like people.
Oh yeah, all of his albums are different.
Yeah, like there's dancehall Drake. There's like the guy who's gonna make back to back. There's different. There's different
dissing
Drake.
The type to make you cry Drake. The party stop or the party maker Drake. Like
Yeah, there's sad boy Drake. There's like different sides of Drake, and then like. I'm starting to feel that too, where like, let's say Drake comes out with like Marvin's Room, right? And then people love it because they're like, oh, like I can relate.
Even The Weeknd, dude.
Yeah, and they're like, people hear Marvin's Room, they're like, oh yeah, we love that so much, I can relate. Give us more Marvin's Room, and then he drops what's a popular Drake song?
Nice for what? I was talking my head.
Okay, all right. Well, another example. Let's say he drops Marvin's Room, right? It goes big. Then he drops Back to Back, a diss track on Meek Mill.
Yeah.
We need more back to back. We need more diss tracks. And then he drops what's another? Then he drops In My Feelings. We need more In My Feelings. Don't ever give us back to back again.
Dang, Jason, you've been through this. You've been through this a couple of times, man.
Yes. My DMs are a war zone.
So is this the conclusion, man? Are you have any like more 10 cents or?
Man, I'm kind of heated right now, but do you want to end it here?
Yeah, man.
We're at like 27 minutes, so.
Yeah, this is the end of Mission Control episode 2. We went over the gun controversy, album of the year, social media pros and cons, and it's honestly been a great episode, man.
Yeah, and
I'll make sure to link Jason's YouTube and all that, so he's not salty about anything.
No. I'm gonna cool down in a minute. I need to go get some water, but follow Adrian on Twitch at TheAstroBoy, right?
Yeah, TheAstroBoy HD.
On Twitch and on YouTube.
And Instagram.
Yeah, and Instagram. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know some topics y'all want us to talk about. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode.